I have been working hard at trying to get caves and cliffs closer to my own survival world, but it's taken 3 years at least, and thousands, and I mean like hundreds of thousands of blocks being placed to get to this point where it is. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of a montage of the progress we've made up to this point. We have run out of stone, so we can't actually finish off the rest of it currently. Still about 20% of the project left, and as you can see, we have dirt, we have sand, regular dirt, and we have sandstone. But as you can see in the middle, it is completely empty here because I have used up all the stone. And I also need to get all these villagers in place in the underground area so that they're safe from lightning. Anyway, there's other things I've been up to, so let's go see it there. So here we are at the thing I have done. Yeah, I finished up this wall. That's not what I actually brung you guys over here for. No, we have a new entry point into the base. You can actually get in through the sand area and into the overgrowth. I've merged it into the castle themed area that comes further along out into this area. And you can see I've created a little bit of a balcony kind of open area here, kind of like the castle themed area that comes more out this side. You can see we have our balcony just over there. Now the main key point about my base is that I'm trying to make it as functional as possible, but also at the same time very decorative. But some things just cannot stay forever, and that is buttons on top of fences. You can see that when I press that, it breaks, and that's because Mojang no longer allows you to put buttons on fences, and it's really sad. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my world is ruined. So because of that, I need to find something to replace these buttons with, but unfortunately, I can't use the usual invisible item frame trick. See, unfortunately, the size of this is actually the same size as a fence, so you end up having the textures warp inside of each other and it just looks terrible. So I don't actually know what I'm going to stick on top of fence posts anymore. Like, I can stick lanterns, but sticking a lantern on every single fence post that I've ever put a button on is just not going to work. Something to use instead of buttons. I mean, yeah, but also like, no, maybe some invisible item frames? I mean, we could stick diamonds on top, but not quite the effect I'm trying to look at. Maybe turn that correctly. I think I have found my solution. Invisible item frames and walls, so I can actually use all of the different variants of walls. Using all of these, I'll be able to redecorate parts that I can no longer decorate with buttons. Now you might remember that we added in a staircase, and this staircase is still here, but I have completely redecorated the walls, and I have done so with some oak leaves and the new cherry blossom tree, and I've stuck that on mud. By the way, I really do not like the mud block because it is purple, and mud is not purple unless it is toxic. So after that mining expedition, we ended up with 64 and 9 ancient debris. So a grand total of 73 ancient debris. That's not too bad. We're gonna need gold, a lot of diamonds, because I have a box here with diamond tools that I actually need to do some upgrading on. So I don't like this. It's very expensive. Okay, I have no diamonds. I have no diamonds. I have no diamonds. I have no diamonds. It's not a problem. We just might need to go on a mining expedition for diamonds. Yeah, it's absolutely... After recovering from that financial loss, the next thing we actually need to get on to is taking a look out here, because we actually have a lot of nothing out here. And I kinda want to trim up my survivor world, and the reason for that is because, well, it's getting rather large. 495 megabytes, which goes to show how much useless data is inside of a Minecraft world and areas that you actually do not use. So, with the updated map, we are going to have a completely snowy landscape. Now the thing is too, we will need to tidy up some of the tree lines here, because you can see they have been trimmed off with the chunks, because the tree generation has changed with this as well. You can see some of the trees are a little bit cut off. Now following the river, we will eventually come across a village, and then we're going to have to connect up to a guardian farm, which we will need to build. Honestly, with the snow around, we can use the guardian farm that was planned for advanced automation. In fact, we even finished that. Gonna build the guardian farm here as well. So yeah, there's gonna be a project and a half. But this time we won't clear the ocean. I think this time we will build the farm in the water. Now, if we stick the chunks up to 80, it should be enough, hopefully. Way off into the distance, way over there, if we get ourselves a spyglass, you can see that the base is over there, but I'm wanting to trim it actually pretty close to the base, so it means over here, actually have the old amethyst farm. In fact, losing this area for what we're gonna gain is gonna be so much better. Now, if we come over to where I was originally planning to build a raid farm, and I kind of want to trim it right on the chunk edge here and get fresh terrain out this way. What's changed out here that's really important? We have the new mangrove swamp. Another reason why I also want to trim real close is so that we can kind of tidy up the mess. So by trimming it really close to the base over there, it makes this area that has been fully loaded clean, and then any new area that generates will also generate more clean than previously. Now the other thing too is we've got to keep in mind of the Great Northern Rail. This Great Northern Rail travels hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blocks all the way back to the old base. Now if we come on over to the original base area, you can see that we have a very distinguished cut line through this mountain area here. I'm not 100% happy, but because of where the end portal is, I cannot cut any closer, whereas I preferentially would like to cut off a lot of this sand, just because I don't like it, to be honest. Just completely remove the desert at a later point and just flood it instead. But you can see we have also cut right along here. So we are cutting really, really close to the base here. And we have cut this close because honestly, I wanted to extend the smoothing over of the shattered plateau to the area that's going to be. And I also wanted to improve a lot of the area out here. But another thing too with cutting this close to the base is in this far corner over here. And we're here. This outpost is the most important outpost that has generated with new terrain. It's a 4-spot outpost, which means I can build my raid farm that I recently just finished developing in this world and have a really good raid farm. But that's not all. You see, if we come out further these mountains down into this hole, you will see one of the biggest, massivest cave generations I've seen in a while. But it doesn't end there. No, down. You come around here, follow down through the hole. Yep. You get an ancient city directly below this massive cave. So I'm thinking if we ever plan on doing a cave base, this is definitely the area to do it. Come along this area as well through this cave that, yes, comes out to yet another river. And if we follow this river all the way over to here, and then we hop, skip and a jump all the way to this set of mountain over here, and then we simply come through a little small gap in the hole here, you can see we get a massive dripstone cave as well, which just goes for ages. Massive, massive. But if you thought that was the end, there is one more thing to top all of this off. You can see off in the distance, we have a woodland mansion. So it's definitely very worthwhile for me to trim up the survival world because a lot of the generation of the terrain out this area has already been covered. And I to be honest, there is nothing out there that is interesting. Look at that, that's tiny. Look at that. Tiny cherry blossom biome. But yeah, as you can see, we have gotten a large section of it complete. And we just have a little bit more left to do. You can see we've already done a large section of the base and it's just a small spot that needs to be done. We also need to do some stuff around here to make this a bit more smoothed out and connect the river. But with that, that's gonna do it for today's episode. I've had a lot of fun today and I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye bye!